Well, it's championship weekend, the NFC and AFC championship games in full force, Tampa Bay and Green Bay, and what a matchup we have between Brady and Aaron Rodgers. Ken, what's your take on this early on?
I think it's going to be a great game. I mean, in Green Bay with a chance of snow, NFC title game. I mean, it kind of harkens back to early days of the NFL, or at least in the 60s, and the Lombardi Packers. And then you've got a rematch of Week 6 when Todd Bowles, of the Bucs defensive coordinator, completely flummoxed Aaron Rodgers in that game. It's really the only time we've seen Rodgers struggle this season. So to me, it's just a great matchup. And then, I haven't even mentioned, can Bruce Arians win an NFC championship game, something he couldn't do in Arizona?
And Bob, on the Todd Bowles thing, can he dial it up against Aaron Rodgers? Aaron Rodgers just looks so confident right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough to do once, let alone twice. But yeah, he can. And I think a big reason, I think we saw it last week, and the game plan that Bowles and the Bucs defense laid out last week against New Orleans. It was amazing, and they brought the pressure. I think Drew Brees has a quite less of an arm than obviously Aaron Rodgers does. So Aaron will test the secondary, which Brees unfortunately couldn't do because of incapacitation with that ailing arm. So yeah, I think they can, but I don't think they will. I think this is a Green Bay win at the moment in my head, and I don't see that changing. Although I'm privately rooting for BA because he was the best coach I ever covered in terms of enlightenment and giggles. So,
and I think there's a lot of Cardinal fans who feel that same way, Bob. Katherine, is there a way for the Tom Brady-led offense for the Buccaneers to score enough points?
Yeah, I think this is such an interesting game. I feel like the Bucs have surprised me quite a few times this season, so I never want to rule them out on anything. But Aaron Rodgers is also just having such a phenomenal year that I think this one, Kent, to your point, it's just going to be a really good game of football. And I know it can be a bit frustrating for some Arizona fans seeing what so many of their former coaching staff is doing now with Tampa Bay, but it's such a different dynamic when you mix a Tom Brady in there who's still able to put up points, still able to do what he's done for so many years.
Well, let's get to the picks. Bob gave us a little preview. Kent, who do you have in the NFC Championship game?
I'm going to go with the Packers. 2 reasons: they're at home, and Aaron Rodgers. I just think he looks so comfortable in this offense. A lot of the stories coming out of Green Bay are saying this is the happiest Aaron Rodgers they've seen in a long while. I don't know what's gone into that, but he's clearly comfortable in that Matt LaFleur offense, and I think they're going to do enough this time to beat the Bucs.
Bob, you like the Packers in this also?
I do. Yeah, I do. And I think the field conditions, the snow and the cold is what's going to make it dynamic. And I do think that'll aid and a bet the Green Bay Packers. I think they win by 10.
Nice. Katherine.
Oh, I feel dangerous that we're all going to pick the Packers. I'm going to pick them too. But I did also appreciate that Tom Brady was so honest about how he gets cold so much more easily now that he lives in Florida, as someone wearing a sweater for a 70-degree day in Arizona. That really resonated with me. And not too many things that Tom Brady does resonate with me. So, I think the conditions, the field conditions, the weather are a factor there for sure. I'll take the Packers as well.
All right, let's move to the AFC Championship game. The top 2 teams in the AFC, Buffalo and Kansas City. And obviously the storyline here is, will he or won't he play Patrick Mahomes? Bob, how do you see this matchup?
Looks like, as we sit here today, that Mahomes will play. It's unofficial as we speak today, but all trends are headed that way from what I've been hearing, what I've been reading, what I've been seeing. So obviously that's the difference in the game. Will he or won't he? And if he does, you got to like the Chiefs' chances. But it just feels special that this Bills season has had something cooking all year, man. And how can you not get on that train? Because they're a fun story with fun people and a great fan base that's been waiting for this moment for 100,000 years, man. And I'm on the train too. I think that as good as Kansas City is with 100% healthy Mahomes, this is the Bills' season. Now, I don't think they're going to win the Super Bowl, but I do think they're going to get there.
Oh, nice call. And there's something like Bob said, Katherine, about Sean McDermott and Josh Allen and everything just gelling at the right time. How do you feel about it?
Yeah, to reiterate some of what Bob said, I think the Bills have just been so fun to follow and watch from an outside perspective of what they're doing, what, their fan base, but has the wild side, but also ramping up donations with each week, which with each team they beat. I think that's just a great storyline to the side of what they're doing in the football field itself, which is so exciting. That being said, Kansas City is still so good. This game is also really hard to pick. I think even if Mahomes is not completely healthy, and he's playing, I think he'll still be really great, as he always is. I enjoy the hashtag anything is possible, but they really need Mahomes to do it. But I think it's just going to be such a fun matchup.
Kent, do we take the Kansas City Chiefs for granted? I mean, 14-2, NFL MVP, defending Super Bowl champions. I mean, are they underrated?
No, I don't think so. And I don't know that we take them for granted. To me, what's happened from the big difference from last year, they're no longer, kind of the cute darling story where everybody was rooting for Andy Reid to get his first title after coming close for so long and known as one of the best, not only the best coaches in the league, but also one of the best people in the league. So I think, unless you were from elsewhere and had some rooting interest, you rooted for Andy Reid, at least I did. I think that's flipped. He's got his title, and now the Bills are sort of filling that role as the up and coming team. Exciting. Can they do it? It means so much to that area if they would get a Super Bowl title. I think that's what's changed, and it's a fun matchup because this Bills team. I mean, what have they won? Like 8 in a row, 11 of 12, and the only loss in that stretch is the Hail Murray at State Farm Stadium. I want to, Kansas City does have a home field advantage in this because, Kansas City, they're letting more fans in than most places in the league. And there really are thousands of people there to create an atmosphere. And that's a really, really loud place. That could be a factor. But if we're ready to make the picks, I'm picking a little bit of an upset in this one. Something tells me the Bills are going to do it.
You picked the Bills. Bob, it seemed like you were leaning that way.
Yeah, I'm going to explain why I'm still staying with that, but it comes with this small caveat. It's that I remember a coach telling me this when I started writing back in the 1980 for the newspaper, that a team has to get there and taste defeat before it can have victory. It's got to get there and then feel it, embrace that moment, learn all the things that come from that big pressure game that sends you to the pinnacle. And I think a lot of teams, it just seems to always happen that way. You got to get there, fail, taste defeat before you can get there and win. I'm totally bucking that trend right now because I do think the Bills are going to go in and beat the Chiefs on their own turf. And Kent, you and I have been to that stadium and how raucous it is and how incredibly loud it is. Whether that stadium's half full or not, it's going to be a very tough environment. I'm bucking the trend. I think the Bills go in and win this game, and I think they win it not with a last-minute kick or a last-minute interception return, but I think they go in there and they win in the second half, which is hard to do against the Chiefs. We'll see what happens after that. I don't know if they're going to get all the way, but I think they're going to rise to the occasion, take care of the Chiefs.
Katherine, Bills, and what do you say?
I mean, I feel like my heart says Bills too, even though all three of us picking what I agree is a slight upset is a little wild, but I don't know. I think I also put some stock in kind of that playing for something a bit bigger and, not that their city has ever not been involved in caring about the team, but I think it's just been a little heightened this year. And I I just think it's a fun story, and sometimes that factors into everything too. So yeah, let's go Bills.
All three of you predicting a Bills-Packers Super Bowl possibly, and we shall see how it plays out on championship weekend.